and Ziggs. Braum, is he going to be banned out? Will he get picked this time around?
So I like the Ziggs ban here from Alliance actually, because Peg has been playing it quite a lot and they often ban away. Don't want to deal with this annoying lane champion. Also the wave clear, of course, going to late game.
Boom, insta-lock. There we go. Braum back on the menu. This time it is Yellow Star running the Taskmaster. Of course, that leaves a number of things open for Alliance. Kale being one of them. Lucian, of course, on the table. It does mean that Twitch is available as well if they were to go for that, or whether they're going to let Reckless have it.
Seems for now they actually want to give it over to Reckless and maybe try and shut it down early on in the laning phase with this Lucian pick. We always talk about how good he is in the laning phase, how good he is throughout the entire game. And of course, if Kale gets locked in, it was the champion Selfie used last week against Fnatic, where they got to late game, where he just destroyed them in team fights. Froggen, or possibly Wicked in the top lane. We've seen Darian play top lane. Kale is looking to do the same.
So, Kale, as you mentioned, could it be the top lane? We've seen it
Can be both.
a number of times
Even
in career.
support.
We've already seen it. I think North America have run it once as well. We'll see whether this... Look, you can tell tabs on your screen. This is what he's discussing. It's like 80 carries. Is he going to be Twitch? Is he going to be Lucian? They are clearly the two on the table. We did, of course, see Jinx ran earlier by Roccat, but I don't think that's going to be an option. I think it must be one of these two. It's going to be Lucian. Taking
the Lucian here, so we need to see how Alliance, of course, depending on what Fnatic picks. Yeah, of course.
We know what they're picking. No doubt about that.
Pretty obvious. So, of course, Alliance were expecting the Twitch to come out here. I need to see if Alliance want to force now 2v2 lanes and try and shut down Reckless early on against Braum here, because against Braum, you can pick ranged support who can poke him a lot. It's hard for him to get in range of you unless he can jump straight to a minion and therefore hit you, get the passive onto you and land a stun with his AD carry. If you can't, you can just poke him all day long.
Well, we talked about that fantastic game that Fnatic had against SK Gaming yesterday. These are two of the champions that did work, Evelynn and Twitch. We'll see whether Twisted Fate joins the party. Of course, Morgana was banned out, so Braum arguably switched up, maybe even a better option, who knows. Elise and Thresh are the choices for Alliance, so it is going to be that Thresh Lucian lane.
Yeah, and we saw the lane last game for Gambit Gaming, of course, where they destroyed Jerry and Braum in the laning phase. It was, of course, Graves though with the Braum. This time it's Twitch, and Twitch Braum as a lane. Level 1 is actually very scary. They can sneak up onto you here, manage to land a stun, and Twitch can either start with his Q or his E, just depending on how he wants to attack them early on. They can get an early stun and actually force a flash. We need to see how Fnatic plays early on. But of course, Alliance, standard picks here, very strong all around here. Good team fight potential, but also good lanes.
Good range as well, good poke, good damage onto towers. Everything is there stacked in for now. Fnatic, they insta-locked in Evelynn and Twitch. This time around they are having a long talk about it. It's the top lane and mid lane, what we're looking for, what will Peke and Soaz run.
Twisted Fate is open.
Shyvana, and like that's exactly like I said, you know, yesterday this is the comp they run. You'd see Reckless popping out, finding him, Peke would come alongside him. It's the pick comp they had yesterday.
Yeah, and this time around they just switched the supports. And with Braum, of course, he can work as a defensive support, but he can also work really well in the pick comp, because if he gets one hit, apply his passive, it's easy for multiple members to get the stun onto target and just kill them here. So Fnatic looking to do the exact same thing they did yesterday, deny a lot of vision away from Alliance and just find picks left and right with Twisted Fate and with Twitch.
So if LeBlanc gets locked in here, or LeBlanc, as Froggen would call it, it does mean that it will be Wicked playing that Kale in the top lane. We've seen Darian running it so far. We'll see how Wicked does on it.
So I think Alliance will looking to bait out the Twisted Fate, because they wanted to expect it to think, okay, it's going to be Kale mid lane here. It's not an easy lane for Twisted Fate, but he can at least deal with it. Now, as soon as they see the pick, they just go straight up LeBlanc here saying, you know what, we can now kill you in this laning phase here. So Froggen, he's looking to be very aggressive, and of course Shook can be there with him to try and shut down Peke so he can teleport around.
Quite a lot of magic damage as well for Alliance. We'll see how that works out for them, of course. But both these teams looking to go for kills, it seems. This could be an explosive match.
Very much. I mean, just Fnatic with the pick comp, we saw how aggressive they played it yesterday. They're gonna do the same thing here. As long as they get a decent early game, don't fall too far behind, they will go in with the sweeping lens, clear your wards, and find these picks here. So Alliance need to be careful and might have to group up early on unless they feel like they can kill people one-on-one.
Well, now that they know the champions, which mid lane do you think has the advantage? Tweet us at LOL Esports and use the hashtag Peke or hashtag Froggen. What do you think? Twisted Fate versus LeBlanc? Which way is this going to go?
Well, laning phase, I have to give it to Froggen, of course, but when it comes to overall map pressure here, we need to see what the Twisted Fate can do.
Yeah, LeBlanc definitely the strongest. We'll see how it works out for them, though. Of course, a lot of pressure in this game. Fnatic picking up the win against SK. Can they go 2-0? Can they take down two of the big dogs at the top of the table and get themselves back up there? Of course, Millennium have just won, putting the pressure onto them. They're now 6-4, third place in the league. Alliance 7-2. They want a win here.
And we need to see, of course, early game. Can Alliance punish Fnatic again? Lane swap around them here. Alliance will actually be looking for standard lanes and try and just shut them down 1-on-1, 2-2 here. Alliance, of course, can look for the lane swap instead.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game about to get underway. It's a biggie. It's Fnatic facing off against Alliance, of course. Fnatic will be starting off as the blue team alongside with Braum. And that means Alliance, they're going to be the red side, playing from top to bottom. Who's going to have the big advantage? Anything fancy? There's a pink ward I'm seeing already at level 1.
Yeah, this is one of the nice things about Elise jungle. You can start with only 2 potions, and then, of course, your jungle item, and then a pink ward, actually. And it works really well against Evelynn early, because you can place it on your side of the map, up here in one of these bushes just around your red buff. And if Evelynn doesn't spot it, she's basically going to be spotted out every time she wants to try and gank mid lane, or if she roams up towards the top lane and doesn't go through the river.
Of course, the disadvantage is if Fnatic choose to go in numbers.
They will spot it then,
the minimap, it's pretty much all standard defensive line here. Nobody pushing, nobody going anywhere in towards it. We just saw Illustar briefly throwing out his Q, so we know what he's leveled up already.
Very even.
See, very close between these two top lanes. And you know, a little bit of Gangnam coming out from Peke there. After his performance yesterday, of course. I think it was, what, 10-3-13 or something?
Something crazy, at least.
I know for a fact it gave Freak a hell of a lot of points in Fantasy, which I'm up against. We'll see how it works out. Of course, he is up against a formidable opponent in Froggen in that mid lane.
And he did decide to go Exhaust here, simply to try and stop the all-in burst from Froggen. But we need to see how they want to play the laning phase. And we need to see what both teams will do here in this level 1. For now, Fnatic moving every single member down towards the red buff. So they're looking to be in the bot lane. Seems Alliance actually are going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, this is some late movement from Fnatic. They've held themselves in there for a long period of time. But of course, are they going to invade? Are they going to go down towards that bottom blue?
Too late to invade, yeah.
You can see Tabs and Nif waiting around. I think it's just simply protection for the red, and it does mean that we are going to have standard meta lanes.
This is the most standard level 1 I've seen in a long time. There was no invades, no deep wards for any team this time around here. Pink ward didn't even get used by Shook yet. Wanted to save it in case Fnatic were invading on them so they couldn't clear the pink ward. So we just see standard lane, standard level 1. Not too much happening so far.
Well, Yellowstar missing his skill shot straight away at the start. That's not what you want to do. That's right. It's your first showing on Braum, of course. That is the Winter's Bite, which is his Q. Of course, the whole point is he lands his passive, lands that Winter's Bite there, stack it up, get another basic attack in there, and then the AD carry just needs one single attack and it will stun out your opponent.
Exactly. If Yellowstar, once he gets a few levels, can then dash to his minion, hit Nif once with an auto attack, Q him, auto attack once again. It's so easy for Reckless, just one hit and you're stunned, and therefore Fnatic can win the trade. Froggen early on got the early level 2, therefore he's going very aggressive.
Yeah, immediately stun card does land, but that's the difference. He can just distort away and quickly that yellow card, while it will land, Froggen's the other side of the map and it doesn't really make much difference. Big minion stack between the two. Shook, of course, still got that pink ward in his pocket. We'll see where he places it. I've got a funny feeling it's actually going to be deep inside their own area, making sure they can cover off, maybe even towards that bush. You can see he's just pinged out the bush.
It's my bet.
Going to go down in towards there. There we go.
So early pink ward here, and we need to see if Sana, once he moves in for the first gank, or maybe if he wants to invade, will actually check the bush here, because normally people just walk right past it, don't even think about it. But there's of course the chance now for the pink ward. They didn't see he actually started with a pink ward, so they don't know.
I distinctly remember a certain NIP game in the qualifiers of a 25-minute pink ward sitting in that bush after being placed. Not pretty, and it's honestly because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things on your mind, so suddenly walking past the bush, you're just pathfinding your way there. You're looking towards another lane or something like that.
Exactly, you're looking at so many different things, especially as a jungler. You're seeing, okay, where can I go for a gank? You communicate with your lanes. You don't necessarily look at your own champion just moving through a river.
So at the moment, this bottom lane, Tabs, of course, at level 3. Yellowstar up to level 3 as well, so everybody, no crazy aggression from level 2 between these two. It's almost a mirror from the last match. Of course, this time around the AD carries have switched around between Twitch and Graves in the last match, so you've already had a good glimpse of how Braum works in the lane. Of course, you guys playing solo queue may have seen it a fair portion or not. It's been banned a lot up in the higher echelons of the game.
Pretty much every single solo queue game I've played for the last few weeks, he was banned as the first ban every time. Nobody really wants to deal with him, but we see early on here, he needs a few levels. He needs to level 6 before he can range engage onto you, unless he wants to jump straight forward, which of course is very risky against the likes of a Fresh here, and just trading some damage back and forth.
Just a gentle play from Nif there, putting pressure on towards the lane. Top lane, we haven't really talked about this. This is a matchup that we've heard about and heard rumors of starting to develop in the European LCS. For the last few weeks, honestly, the players have been saying Kayle versus Shyvana in the top lane. It's a good matchup. But we've been waiting to see it, and finally it's happened. We'll see how it works out between Wicked and SOAS.
And this is the first time we see it with standard lanes, so if Wicked can actually deny some CS, haven't done it here early, Source is actually ahead on farm for now. But the idea is basically Shyvana can never jump towards you because you slow her with your Q and you just hit it from range again and again. You can speed yourself up, of course, so therefore you should be able to farm the lane very safe as Kayle.
Well, you can see Yellowstar jumping down. He does manage to get one hit. Can he get a second? He's got vision onto Nif. There's the stun. There he is locked up. You can see Cyanide coming around the side. He's got a good flash away. He may be able to escape this one. The stun comes back in once again. Reckless catches on. That's the AD carry with first blood.
And Yellowstar did exactly the thing we talked about earlier. He jumped to his own minion, got the first auto attack onto Nif here, landed the Q, so he was slowed. You already have 2 stacks now. Another auto attack, and then Reckless just with 1 hit stuns Nif. Cyanide joins in. Very nice first blood here and good use of Braum.
Yellowstar, of course, having fantastic stats alongside Reckless yesterday. If you think back to the opening spring split, they were the KDA pairing with 26 KDA or something crazy like that back in the opening of the spring, of course. 10-1-10 for Reckless yesterday, and that was a quick pink find for Cyanide, but dare not go near it right now because Shook and Froggen are making the way to protect it.
At least clearing out the ward here. Just a matter of time, of course, before Cyanide can actually move in. Just 2 hits to clear it away. He might even take the Wraith Cam and go back and do it.
So Cyanide clearing out the Wraiths, and he will get around there. Shook is going to ward out the Wraiths, I think, here. He's going to certainly take a look. There is the ward going down, so he's going to look towards the red. Obviously not going to be there, but it may set up something then in his bottom lane.
And this was a very smart ward for Shook. He's putting them at the camps here, so basically once Evelyn starts it, she pops out of stealth, and therefore you get full vision of her. Nif, though, he's in big trouble again.
Oh, locked out, but he managed to sidestep. He's going to get one caught in there. There's the damage coming out. The stun will come through. Nif's in trouble. Cyanide flashing for it. That secures himself the kill. I don't know what the hell Tabs was doing around there. Here comes Wicked, teleporting into the fight. Can they turn this one around? Tabs is going to come back in towards it. Reckless gets away. Intervention being used by Wicked. Shook's going to have to flash away. One more hit would stun either of them up, but they do get out. A hell of a lot of summoner spells burned, and still just the 1 kill for Reckless.
Every single Alliance member had to flash away here. Wicked teleported in, but Nif was already dead, so once Source joined the fight, Fnatic was still more members in here, and they were just stronger. And we see the power of Braum. Once there's no flash on your support or your AD carry, if you're too far up in the lane and the jungler comes, it is so easy to land this stun here onto him and just kill him.
Big difference in the lane right now. You look at Tabs, he's desperately trying to farm up. He's got very good farm. Let's not discredit that. 63 to 37 CS. It's a big advantage, but those 2 kills for Reckless will give him a good edge, and you can see he's been back and got the Bilgewater Cutlass. So once that Blade of the Rune King comes out, we know what Reckless is going to do on Twitch. He's going to be looking for those picks, those kills, and Peke is already at level 7. He's going to be start joining in with that Destiny.
And it's just very smart play by Fnatic, knowing which lane can we gank the easiest here in early game. Kayle up top lane is very hard to gank, of course. Source brings very little amount of CC, just his ult where he can get a small amount, no slows, of course, no stuns. Mid lane, it's hard to gank LeBlanc, who can just jump back to his own tower. So they focus the bottom lane here early on, also knowing they're going to lose the matchup by itself, and therefore they get these 2 early kills, which is huge for them.
Clever from Yellowstar as well, knowing that the mid lane had gone away, comes up, cleans out that pink ward and gets himself a ward in there. Once again, good coverage from both of these teams at the moment. You talked about, of course, Shook going down to that bottom half of the jungle, getting the good ward coverage of Cyanide. Of course, they have no vision down the bottom, but the fact that they don't see him down the bottom, they know he's up the top.
Yeah, well, again, that was though the unlucky thing before, because Cyanide didn't actually do any cancel. Look at Speggy, he wants to teleport top.
He's going to come in. There's the Destiny straight behind. Of course, intervention's up. It's a good use early on. Can it hold him out for long enough, though? Soaz going down. The tower hits coming in. Not quite enough, and Cyanide and Peke do the damage. Soaz gets away scot-free.
And now they can gank the top lane because they can send multiple members. Peke, of course, teleporting up there, and Cyanide just joining in by himself. Source just got his ulti up to jump out of the tower. Didn't die for it. Again, very well played by Fnatic, putting a lot of ganking pressure early on here.
So, blue buff picked up by Froggen there, but the first tower of the game may well go down in the top. Of course, Alliance reacting to that. The fact that the jungler is in the top lane, they're going to try and take out this jungle in mid lane. So, Dragon is the word I'm after. It's actually a pretty late one. And why is this? Because we've seen Elise obviously being picked quite heavily in Europe, but if you look at America, 3.5-minute Dragons, they are commonplace now in the last week.
So in this game here, the Elise couldn't do the Dragon simply because the bottom lane got killed twice. They knew, okay, as long as your bottom lane is there to just your support, you can never just go safely and start the Dragon here. So Fnatic had all the pressure in the bottom side of the map. Therefore, Elise, of course, had to wait a bit. As soon as they saw multiple members top, though, it was an easy Dragon for Alliance to pick up.
Froggen going aggressive. Peke comes around the side. He has got Cyanide with him as well, so 3 members potentially to stack in that mid. Froggen will clear out the minion wave, though, and it's safe for now.
Still down this bottom lane here, 90 CS on taps, doing a very good job trying to shut down Reckless. And once again, Yellowstar jumping into his own minion to just land the first hit onto taps, get the first proc, maybe even the slow, and then Reckless could follow up if he wants to. For now, he just wants to farm though.
Reckless is continuing his aggression alongside him, Yellowstar. Seemingly having some fun on this new Braum. Of course, it's going to catch in there. Peke does manage to get the yellow card out, stunning each other off at the exact same time, and that's kind of a deadlock between the two until somebody has enough burst damage. Froggen, of course, is the one that should be able to put it out. That yellow card is only going to catch once Froggen's away from it, so it's only a matter of time before Froggen is able to burst Peke down. He's going to start being a little bit more careful. You can see he's already having to back away.
Still though, just the fact that first gang gave a kill over to Twisted Fate was a big deal, and of course Froggen wasn't able to follow up here, just went straight for the Dragon. So this is also why Alliance now moved 2 members in to start hitting the tower, meaning the next time Peke wants to teleport somewhere, the tower should be fairly low, and they can then kill it and trade whatever kill he gets for his team for the tower to Alliance.
Well, this time away, around he is going to back away. Soaz actually trying to sneak around there, but warning signs coming out. They spotted Shook in that jungle. They have got a pretty deep ward in now, and again, Fnatic. We talked about the yesterday, how good a vision coverage they had, and it's something Alliance have been talking about. Vision control, vision control. At the moment, they do not have it. Fnatic definitely have a big advantage in that department.
Yeah, all the wards they had early on in the jungle of Fnatic have all gone now. They need to go in and put a few new ones. But now they've just been staying back, haven't actually looked for any ganks in. You just see Fnatic, they actually done the exact same thing Alliance did earlier, just put wards in the entire jungle here, spotting out everything Shook is doing. Even if Kale or Froggen wants to go in and get some farm, they can see everything.
Well, it's given Soaz a big advantage, of course, because that tower has gone down in the top lane. It means he can stay safe. At the moment, he's sitting in the bush just off the side. He's happy to go 1-for-1 with Wicked. You can see in terms of gold, it's actually pretty even between the two. Of course, we've seen the teleport from Wicked used earlier on. Peke, Destiny's coming in. They're going down to the bottom. Well. Teleport comes in as well. They're going to lock up Nip. He's dead no matter what. 5 members all over him. No escape there for Nip. That's his 3rd death of the game.
And this is perfect timing from Fnatic, because look at the top lane here. The wave was in the middle, so Wicked couldn't push it down fast enough to get a lot of hits on the tower. In the mid lane as well, Peke had just cleared the entire wave, so Froggen wouldn't be able to push on the tower either. So it's just very good timing. They didn't lose any damage on their own towers and got a kill and a lot of assists.
Froggen's going to try and sneak in. Cyanide in there. There comes Shook around the corner. They'll have the cocoon. Cyanide goes down. Peke maybe the focus. Yellowstar comes in. Stand aside, gets on towards him, and Breakable pops out. Does manage to block out Froggen's damage. And Shook is going to get away scot-free here. Peke cannot get onto the right target. Froggen will get away. It was only his mirror image. Shook just off the side. Oh, Soaz has found him. He's in trouble. Shook's going to go down. Peke will take himself an easy kill there. And again, Fnatic come out on top.
Come out on top again here. Exhaust was used by Peke a little bit too late here, so it didn't actually deny any damage from Froggen. And then Yellowstar, of course, joined in. Didn't have his ulti ready, so had to just chase on and still managed to pick up a kill. Just pushing up this lane a little bit.
Yeah, trying to get some damage on Soaz, trying to keep him around that tower, but missed out on his death sentence, which forces him back. Reckless, he's backing off. You can see he's got 2.2 thousand in his pocket.
He might buy the Scrying Orb again here.
Slightly on tabs. He may switch across to the Scrying Orb. He's definitely purchased an item. It's Blade of the Rune King being picked up. There is the Scrying Orb as well. You can't see it on your screen.
There it is.
And now, and you can tell you, this is exactly what they did yesterday. They worked to great effect against SK.
As soon as he had the blade and he could start stealthing around, finding picks on one-on-one people, he bought the Scrying Orb here and just looking for targets now. Froggen could be one of them. You could just land a gold card from his pick and you burst him down with the Twitch, force him either to flash away or he's gonna die.
Shook's got to be careful here. He's going to try and go aggressive on Soaz. The rest of the team are collapsing in with him. Don't forget, of course, Destiny not available at the moment. Shook's got to be careful. Cyanide tries to turn it around. Repels away. Wicked comes in. There's Peke joining it. It's a 3v3, but the red buff will be taken by Shook.
So Shook got the red buff at least, but Fnatic playing very aggressive and once again putting wards deep inside the jungle of Alliance and then push up all the lanes here. Mid lane is the target for them. 4 members from Alliance are over to defend, and Froggen going very aggressive here.
So as he's going to get locked up, stunned out there, Yellowstar quickly comes and joins the fight, gets himself in between them all, blocks it off. Nif again the focus target. Good knock up there from Yellowstar, but they do not manage to get themselves a target, or do they?
One hit.
Shook's going to try and get away, but he gets caught out. Dead Sentence on Cyanide. He gets pulled in. Froggen will lock him up, and it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Tabs has been found in the jungle. Reckless locks on towards him. Can he follow through? He does get the stun down there. Rat-a-tat-tat is running, and Reckless destroys Tabs where he stands.
This is why so many people are afraid of playing against Braum. You see, he gets the passive on Reckless. He knows I can get this kill, I can get the stun. He just flashes after him, gets the stun here, and kills Tabs easily. Soa's going very aggressive.
Soa's thinking he can try for it, and Froggen, he's going to get stunned out here. Froggen can't walk through the flame trail that Soaz leaves behind him. Fnatic 7-2 up right now. It's still only 2,000 gold though. This is not that big an advantage despite how it looks.
But it's the same 2 champions we saw yesterday, going 10-1-10 for Reckless, and I believe something like 10-11 kills for Xpeke, getting the great early start, getting the kills early on here. So Fnatic, of course, will be trying to do the exact same thing that they did yesterday for the entire game, and they've done it already here, finding picks left and right. And if it wasn't for a max range hook from Nif before, Alliance wouldn't have gotten a single kill out of it.
If it wasn't for the Dragon, they would be falling out of this game quickly, but it is going to be secured, the second one of the game for Alliance, which is what's keeping that gold counter ever so closer. And of course, you look at yesterday, Gambit, they did exactly the same thing against Alliance. That's what kept them in there for a long period, and then they managed to turn it around and win the game.
And that's the thing Fnatic needs to be a little bit afraid of. Don't give up too many objectives easily. They actually said in their pre-game interview themselves, Fnatic or Alliance often go for kills instead of objectives. This time around, Fnatic is doing it, so Alliance keeping up in gold for now. Wicked just pushing up this top lane. Wicked is there to wait for them.
Wicked's wave clearing, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get singled out here. There was 4 members of Fnatic in that top half of the jungle for a period, which they do have very good coverage of. They have stepped away for now, though.
And could be an issue for Alliance, the fact that both Kayle and the Blanc here, it's a bit risky to wave clear because you have to get very close to the minions. You either have to jump straight into them or actually stand in your auto attack range. So it opens up for Fnatic to get some damage, to land a gold card, maybe even land a stun through Braum's passive here, and therefore get a kill.
Red buff, blue buff does go across the Peke there. He thought he was going to mess up there. He managed to throw the card out at the wrong stage. Froggen caught out. Reckless catching on towards him. Has to distort away from that one. That's going to leave that mid lane pretty open. That's going to take a couple of shots. There it is. Eventually, will go down to Peke.
And this is what Fnatic need. They need to get all the outer turrets away so they can go even further into the jungle of Alliance, place even deeper wards, and just try and spot them out left and right, and use the 3 sweeping lenses to also deny a lot of vision away from Alliance here. So good start, and also why they had so much focus on this tower.
Scrying Orb used out there, but they're looking towards the Dragon. They didn't even know that it had gone. They're actually pinging around it, and they're thinking, should we stick around it? They clear out the pink ward. They are instead going to move on down towards the bottom outer turret.
Reckless for now just going back to farm. Already picked up quite some kills, of course, from the 2 ganks early. He fell very far behind in farm, but still managed to go even in gold just because he picked up those 2 kills. And now putting his focus onto this bottom lane here with Cyanide and, of course, Yellowstar joining in. As long as they get the last outer turret here, they can really start becoming even more aggressive. And we can even see Twisted Fate just trying to one-on-one people everywhere on the map.
So it's a big advantage for Fnatic early on, but if you look towards Alliance's team, they have a lot of power if the late game were to come around, if they were to hang on in terms of towers. Remember, it is only 2-0. Mid turret is on a thread. That will go down with a breath of fresh air. And of course, Alliance, you know, they have the ability, if they can pick up a kill, to go straight for the objectives. We heard them talking about it, but this is not what they want. You can see Nif almost face checking in there, put the ward down on the head, managed to uncover that 3-man gang.
So the Yellowstar took some damage in return. Froggen keeps just jumping forward, hit Xpeke a few times, go back again. Doesn't really want to go fully for the kill, it's just more his way of poking.
Mid lane, again, is going to take some pressure. If Peke steps away, he's going to look in towards his bottom lane to maybe use that Destiny card to get down there. He can't step away for too long, or he will lose that tower. You can see he's trying to keep himself down this bottom area. Cyanide will take the red buff. He's going to give it across to Reckless. I think he will.
Yeah.
And that may well start off. So you see whether Reckless makes use of this ambush and starts to look for kills on Tabs.
This is really the time where pretty much everyone from Alliance, you can just sneak up and force them to either flash away or just straight up die. I mean, even Froggen in the mid lane is an easy target for him now to just force back. And of course, if Sana joins in from stealth, if Twisted Fate joins in, it should be a kill for Fnatic. Turn it into a dragon, maybe even try and take a tower deeper inside the Alliance area.
And we should talk about actually Soaz in that top lane. You know, as Shyvana up against Kayle, has gone for a different item, has started out with the Banshee's Veil, of course, countering in towards Wicked. Wicked talking about how strong Kayle possibly is in this matchup. He's quickly countered it with an item.
And not only does it counter Wicked, it really counters Froggen as well, because he wants to burst again onto Soaz, and of course the Banshee's just going to block the very first hit here, and of course the early magic resist is very huge for him. So it's a very smart item. He's also going to be in the front line whenever they have a fight, so as long as he can just stay alive for as long as possible, we of course know the rest of the members can do so much damage.
Tread's also picked up by everyone in that top lane. Wicked trying to bully Soaz away from lane here. 3 members of Fnatic are going to push in. It's going to be 3v2 in this bottom lane. We're going to see whether Froggen is going to come down. I think he's just going to hang around in the side. He's actually got that mid open to himself, so he may push on towards the tower. He's got the minion wave in there. Peke, if he wants to protect it this time around, will have to use that Destiny to get back quick enough.
And we can see Alliance here, because they fell behind early on, simply said, we're not going to try and make any plays. Sugar's just been farming the entire time, hasn't even gone for any ganks, because they knew we just need to farm up at this point. We don't want to risk taking any fights. We know Twisted Fate can join in, we know Evelyn can be nearby. We can't even go inside Fnatic's jungle at this point and ward up, so we won't have any proper wards. Therefore, we just farm. Same goes for Sugar, of course, in the jungle, so that's why he's not been doing anything for the last few minutes.
So Tabs is going to take the bottom turret down. As I mentioned, these turrets are close to being caught out. Here's a teleport. Here's going to be Destiny. Nif in trouble once again. Stun comes out. Tabs keep it off the side there. There's going to be a good lantern being pulled out. Wicked teleports in and joins the fight as well. Meanwhile, Froggen catching out Yellowstar in the river. Wicked's going to come up and collapse between them. Yellowstar uses his ultimate on Froggen. Wicked has to flash away with intervention used. Shook almost caught out as well. But at the moment, it's Fnatic putting the pressure on, but Alliance dealing with it very well.
So the gank was actually set up by Fnatic, but because Wicked teleported down so early, they backed away wise enough, didn't want to deal with Wicked and his teleport here. Instead, just traded some damage back and forth. Both top laners had to join in with teleport, so they won't be able to split push for now at least. Therefore, we might see a big team fight. Froggen though, he's still in the mid lane, I'm not sure why.
Yeah, scrying orb, giving good vision of that. Yellowstar taken very low, they're going to hang on. Death sentence does not land. Froggen is this time going to come down. Minions may push in on that middle tower. You saw the hit points on it. It's next to nothing. Froggen is spotted out, so he's going to clear out that one. Meanwhile, you guys on Twitter, of course, talking about it. Why
I started Reckless this week, so there we go.
Yeah, everybody was wishing they started with Reckless. Dragon being started off here. Is this a good move by Alliance?
Could be a risky one though, taking quite some damage. Yellowstar is fairly low, the Source also taking some poke. Alliance should be able to pick it up.
They're going to take the Dragon, they're going to take Yellowstar. That's going to be a hook and kill. The Death Sentence doing its job. Alliance can rotate straight up towards the top here. They're going to take down another turret. This is a good gold advantage being picked up by Alliance.
Yeah, so okay, mid tower and Dragon only traded away their own bot tower here, so very smart move by Alliance. And Froggen now going on to Source.
Soaz going to get locked up. Cynide's going to join him. So Froggen going to get baited into this one. Look at this though. Top and middle lane both being pushed. Sorry, the bottom lane. Alliance shoving in towards. That's going to be an inner turret going down. 5 members of Alliance pushing in. Fnatic have to back away. They can't push on towards it too long or they're going to lose this inhibitor turret. Soaz is doing what he can. He can't Dragon's Descent. He can't do anything on towards it. That's an inhibitor turret going down.
They're going to kill
Soaz taken down. Yellowstar comes back in. Respawns, goes back down again.
It's the
Alliance keeps on pushing. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, you can see Reckless. He's on the inhibitor turret as well. He's keeping on down towards there. Froggen catches out Soaz. The Destiny comes around. Cynide's going to come around the side here. They're going to keep on pushing. We can see in the bottom corner. That's the inhibitor turret going down. Alliance are keeping on pushing. The inhibitor turrets are dropping. They're going to keep on shoving through. And Fnatic have to back away desperately, but that's a second Nexus turret going down. They're on to the Nexus. Can they finish the game?
Hit the Nexus.
A 23-minute game.
Hit the Nexus.
Alliance, they're going to get blocked off. They can't finish it, can they? One more. They've done it. Alliance take down Fnatic in 23 minutes. Tactical problems from Fnatic. You have to wonder. 5 members versus 2. It does not do the maths. And Alliance take the victory over Fnatic despite being heavily behind in kills.
Fnatic were expecting Alliance to back away after 1 or 2 towers here, but they just kept going because they picked up a kill onto Yellowstar. They knew they could keep going here, and Fnatic didn't recall in time. They were too greedy for the towers, and now they lost the game.
Well,
whoa.
The crowd are on the feet, we're on our feet, everybody. Wow, what a turnaround, what a quick finish
23 minutes
from Alliance. They keep their spot at the top of the table. 8 wins, 2 losses. They were not happy with yesterday's performance. I'm not sure they're going to be happy with today's performance, honestly. It was not a good opening, but what a fantastic finish.
What a finish here. And simply Alliance just saying, well, as long as you're pushing towards our base, we can just keep going. Nif landing the hooks onto Yellowstar again, picking up the kills. Sana was just waiting to go in. He was waiting for his team, but they never joined in. Expeke as well, he teleported back to Reckless to take the tower, didn't teleport back to base to try and defend. And all of a sudden, your Nexus is gone. I mean, what a finish.
Well, I mean, that finish caught everyone off guard. Ourselves
I mean, with 23 minutes
Nobody was ready for that finish. It was looking like Fnatic were in the driving seat. You only need to look at their stats. It's 5-0-1 for Reckless, 2-0-4 for Peke. It was setting up just like it was yesterday. But no. Alliance, tactical choice, go for the mid lane. They knew it was already weak. We knew that was just going to go down. But the fact that 5 members were on that mid turret compared to, well, it was 3, I think, period. In the bottom lane. They got the inhibitor down. They were onto the Nexus turret, but they were just not quick enough.
Not quick enough, of course not. I mean, it was just a long way in here. Didn't even have any minions with them in the end, I think. And it's just Alliance saying, you're taking our bot tower, we know we can't defend it, we take the dragon. And then because, again, Fnatic, they stayed in this bot lane here, so Alliance, okay, we just moved mid and just kept going. So